Hi, I'm Meg.
And I'm David.
Welcome to The Average Vegans, a podcast to help you live an attainable vegan lifestyle. We're not the ripped influencer vegans you hear about in other podcasts. We're just some ordinary people living in the South, eating plants and loving animals.
And on this episode, we're talking about pets in veganism.
Why does that sound weird?
Veganism. What did my aunt? She pronounced it vegan. Veganism. It's like
People do that with my name sometimes.
Megan.
Megan.
Well, from now on, your name's Meeg. I'm calling you Meeg from now on. Like Schmiegel, but just
wow.
Meeg.
That sounds creepy.
Should have told me that. Should have told me. Okay, we forgot we were recording. Anyway, so at least I
We're
did.
so weird.
We really are. This is what we do before we record everybody. We just actually do this, and then we go, "Oh yeah, we should start now."
Yeah, we can't really record those conversations for you guys.
They're not as entertaining. Well, probably would be. It's not as interesting. Yeah, probably. Are. Anyway, but
Maybe more.
Maybe more. So yeah. So today we're talking about, like I said, pets in veganism. Just obviously, a quick spiel. We are not veterinarians. We don't have any degrees. We do have pets. We do have fur kids. I have way too damn many fur kids.
We'll talk all about them. We should introduce them.
Oh yes. We should because I have Benny in here with me right now. He's promptly doing dog licking things.
Ew. Gross.
That's what they do. He does take a bath. I mean, I got him scheduled for actually a bath on Sunday. But anyway,
So spoiled.
yes.
Yeah, we're not vets. We're not professionals. We're just going to share some information that we have about pets and, a vegan diet and what that might entail. So we're going to talk a little bit about it. So don't take our word for like the gospel or anything.
Right. Of course, always talk if you want to transition to any pet you have. Always talk to a veterinarian or any medical professional that is within the field view of your pet. Obviously, so if you have a special type of a pet that is non-traditional, such as a cat or a dog or a hamster, definitely want to talk to someone who's special in that field to make sure you're adequately providing proper nutrition.
Yes,
I think,
absolutely.
So.
Oh my gosh. So let's talk about our pets before we get into it.
Okay.
I think that would be cute. I think people will like that.
Yeah.
You start because you have more pets than me.
I have way more. Yeah. So I have 5 cats and technically 2 dogs in this house. Not all the cats are mine. Not all the dogs are mine. It's a combo of my cats and another person's cats. So it's separate, fur kids among. But I tend to take care of the whole brood.
You do.
Yeah, I got, so to kind of run down the list, I have Queenie, who is my oldest girl. She is I think she's 13 or 14 years old, Russian blue mix.
Such a pretty girl.
Oh, she's my girl too. She's all about me. She's usually in here sleeping because she's old now, so that's all she does is sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And she can't jump really well anymore, so I got to help her up in my lap when she wants up. She'll get up on my leg and kind of like pat.
Be like, hey, down here.
Yeah, and I got to grab her by her front legs and kind of lift her up into my lap. If I don't, she'll jump, but she has to latch onto my leg and claw her way up. Yeah. It didn't take long for me to go. Okay, all right, you're gonna help you.
We'll help you
because that's terrible. Although we keep the cat food up on like a little like the bar area, which is I'm gonna move that soon because it's a bad place for it. But I can hear when she's getting to be a food because she can't jump up onto the stool, the bar stool, into the bar area. Like little cats can. So she has to like jump and grab. You hear bang. It's just the chair smacking the bar.
Oh my God. She's like, someone help me.
Please put stairs on this. No, the dogs get to it. So there's Queenie. Then I have Lamb Chop, who I call, who's actually just staring at me right now with her fangs out. I call her the epitome of evil. She just looks like she looks like she was ridden. She's plotting my death constantly, I'm sure.
I love it. Love it.
And you can't touch. I'm the only one who can touch her. Kind of like your cat. Like no one else can get around
Yep.
her. Like she'll come out, but his lamb chop isn't scared of you. She'll come out. She'll get right next to you. You cannot touch
But
her.
she's like, no.
If you try petting her, she'll know you. She'll go. She'll open her mouth and show her fangs. That's a warning.
You know I'm gonna try though.
Oh, you'll try. It's fine. You go ahead. And then there's Aussie. Aussie is my youngest, and I found him in a bush. His name's Aussie because I found him in a bush, Australia.
Oh my God.
Bush,
I get
Aussie.
it. That's
Yes.
great.
He's also the biggest. I think he's not Burmese, but he's a full he's black. Most black cats aren't really black. They have like a shade. They're like a shade of black and they have stripes. He is solid black. He has black pads on his feet, everything. If you come over, you won't see him. He is terrified of everyone, and he is my shadow.
Oh.
He is my buddy. He cries if I come pay him. And then Phineas is like a really skinny orange cat. He eats, but just put on weight, so he's healthy. He's fine. And then there's Ophelia, who loves me to death. So she's a
Such a
Siamese
cutie.
cat. And for dogs, there's Benny, Benny's my buddy. He probably spends, and I'm not exaggerating, probably about 95% to 90% of his day beside me.
Oh, he loves you.
He sits in my office all day long. If I get up, he'll I have a picture I need to post of him like peeking up. I went down the stairs. I looked back over the stairs, and his head's poked up above his little
It's like,
sleeping
where'd
basket.
you go, Dad?
Can I go, Dad? Where you going? Can I come? So Benny, Benny is and I'll talk about him a little more because this episode really pertains to him more. But he is we think he's a Whippet mix.
Okay.
Because he has like the the Greyhound Whippet, kind of that really pointy rib cage, really skinny legs, kind of tall. I say he's a dancer because he's really these long skinny legs. He's a dancer. But you a dancer? Go tip tap, tip tap, tip tap. He's adorable, but he's like almost
He
solid
is
white
super
except
cute.
for a couple little like light brown spots. And then there's Kodak. Kodak is my stepson. I'm watching him for a friend of mine. And he's a pit bull mix, American pit bull mix, I think, and huge baby. He's terrified of my 13-year-old cat puts him down. Like she smacks him in the head, he just like whimpers and walks away. I was 100 pounds, and she just beats his ass. It's hilarious.
Of course.
I got to tell this quick story, and then we can talk about y'all children's.
Okay.
She's Russian blue, so they kind of shed. They lose like tufts of hair and stuff as the weather changes. So she had this little tuft of hair that just kind of floated. She's like licking her back, and it and it floated off in the air. And I have to when it lands, I usually pick it up and throw it away. And it floated and floated and floated, landed on the carpet. Kodak sees it, and he's a dog. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. He walks over to smell it, and she walks over and just smacks him in the head. He went,
That's my fur.
he kind of like sneezed and step back like, oh my God. Like literally 100-pound pit bull, 13-year-old, probably 20-pound cat just bashed him up by the head. It was hilarious. And he did nothing. He just kind of like whimpered and walked back, and his feelings were so hurt. I had to cuddle him. He was so upset. It's ridiculous. He's not mine. He's a friend of mine who's taking care of some life stuff, so I'm watching till I guess I figured out.
Such a good guy.
That is the brood the zoo that I take care of.
I love it. I love
Constantly.
that you're such a fur dad, and a good one at that.
So many litter boxes.
Yes. We have two pets in this house. We have Bella, who is a black cat, and she does blend in sometimes where you only see her eyes, and it kind of freaks me out. Sometimes I don't even so we have like a spare bedroom that used to be my oldest daughter's room, and there's like a little day bed in there, and I have a black blanket on it right now, and I have to change it because I don't know if she's in there until she picks her head up and looks at me. I'm like, are you there? I can't tell.
Yeah, you should have
blends
picture
right in.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so her name is Bella. She is I think she's like 11 or 12 now. I got her from the Humane Society. I went to go look for a cat, and there were a bunch of cats there. And I was like debating. There was so many to choose from that day. And she reached out the cage and like tried to grab me and like meowed really, really loud to the point where she overpowered like all the other cat voices. And I was like, okay, bitch. And so I just like reached down and like, what's up? And she was like this cute little black cat. And they said she'd been there for like 70 days or some crap like that. And she
Wow.
was like at the point where she would be like next in line not to be alive anymore.
Mm.
So I was like, nah, she coming home with me. So she was actually surprised for my oldest daughter. She came home from school and there was a kitty cat in her bed. So that was like one of my favorite moments of parenting because she screamed. She was like, oh my God. She'd wanted a cat for so long. So, and we named her Bella after Twilight because my daughter loves Twilight to this day. She's about to turn 20 and she still watches it as a guilty pleasure. I hope your friends listen to this sometime, Kaylee.
Kid, I had to talk with you
Anyway.
how bad Twilight is, so you just let
Yep,
that go.
that's what my cat's named after.
Oh my God, Twilight. I had to sit
It's
that.
her guilty pleasure. She has rewatched those movies.
Oh my God, I had to sit through that movie.
She has watched them. I can't even tell you how many times. It's probably been at least 20 times she's watched those movies.
I had to sit through that movie with an
Maybe
ex.
more.
I sit through the movie with an ex, and the whole time she was mad at me. I'm going, whole time I'm going, are you kidding me? What? Are you? Wait, hold on a second. I'm like complaining the whole way through. She's like, shut up. I'm like, no, this is stupid. You made me come to this.
You're
and I didn't
ruining
wanna,
it.
I didn't want to come. You made me. This is where
She
both
regretted that.
Oh yeah, good. She was a crazy person anyway. There's a whole other story.
Yeah. So yes, that's Bella. Bella does not like people. She likes us as a family. You can't pick her up. There's no picking the baby, little queen up. No way. She doesn't lay on you and snuggle. She's not, a love bug, but she likes to like play. She loves scratching posts. Lately, she likes this thing where she gets on the scratching post, she looks at you, and that she wants like a magic carpet kind of ride where we just fling her around on the scratching post. It's like a flat piece of scratching post, and we just like drag it around the carpet, and she holds on for dear life and loves it.
You gotta
What a
film
weirdo.
this. You gotta film this. I want to see this.
It's so weird. She like hates people and disappears. Like I've had friends that for like a good 6 years who didn't even know I had a cat until I was like, oh, by the way, I have a cat.
Do you remember when she saw me?
Yes.
She said she Fred Flintstone.
I thought she was gonna hurt herself.
She's like
She was like, I could come out here, and then she went, "Oh my God, regret."
The problem is
Like
she got
bolted.
past me. She got past me, and then she was in the kitchen, and then she trying. I was like, David, look, there she is. I looked around the corner on the other side of the kitchen, and her shirt, she did like that. She had her head all squished back, fat neck in it, and her body all tense. And I was like, "Hey, kitty," and her feet went. She get traction, like she Fred
Dying.
Flintstone. She Fred Flintstone, hit it, smacked it into the cabinet, took off running. That was hilarious.
She was gone.
She was gone. That's Aussie. That's
Oh
Aussie.
God,
That's
it was
what Aussie
one of
will
the
do.
funniest things I've ever seen. So
Oh,
she
that's
like,
awesome.
yeah, nobody knows she exists, but she's a great cat. We love her. She's very strange, but we love her. She was very loving before we got her spayed. So the opposite happened.
Really?
Just an FYI for people. The opposite can happen. They can go from being crazy animals to calm, or they can go from being cute, loving, cuddly animals to I don't trust you anymore because you dropped me off
What
with
did you do?
the vet and they took part of me out. I hate you now. So that's how life has been. We also have a dog, and her name is Lucy, and she is the princess of this house. She's also very old. She's about 13 now, almost 12, 13. She has quite a few health issues. She is a Chihuahua Jack Russell mix, but she has a thyroid issue. So she's overweight. So she's not hyper anymore, and she's old. So she's more a slow kind of stroll now. She's not like an obnoxious little Chihuahua anymore, but yeah, she's very sweet. We just we cherish every moment we have with her because we know it's not going to be, a horrendous amount, not horrendous, a large amount of time left with her. It's slowing down, but she's the funniest, weirdest little dog, and we just love her to death. She's so funny. Oh my God, she used to hike up mountains with me, and now she's just like,
She's a little
just
sausage.
nap. As one of my friends calls her, she looks like a little baked potato.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just like a baked potato.
Was-
We should get her a Halloween costume.
It's like what's George Carlin called pets little tragedies waiting to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she definitely is.
Oh yeah.
But that's our pets.
Yeah.
We both have lots of them.
Oh,
Well,
my
I mean, I
God.
only have two, but that's enough.
I
I
have
also have children, so
have
it
a
feels
brood.
like it's more.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, fair enough. Yeah. I still upset. Yeah, I can't claim this dependence. At least like 3 = 1 dependent, maybe. I mean, give me something.
I could see that. I could see that.
You know.
We could talk about if our pets are eating a vegan diet or not, or do you want to save that information?
We did in a second. So let's. I want to mention there are a few pets. If we go into like the cat, mainly cat and dog is I think what our main focus is going to be. But
yeah,
there are some animals obviously that you really can't even be talked about on plant-based diet. A lot of reptiles are like that, like snakes and lizards. They eat bugs and mice, things like that. And I even looked into it because oh, it'd be kind of cute to have a lizard. And I'm like, I can't just feed it crickets. I feel bad. But and like, no, you can't. There's no like plant-based crickets for lizards. And there's no such thing as a vegan snake. I looked into that too. Not a thing.
you're so cute.
Oddly enough, there actually is a vegetarian spider.
Oh, yeah. Don't have one of those, please. I'm not
No.
coming over.
No, it's a really small one. It's like, and it eats like the sap from a certain type of tree or something like that, and then it gets
Oh,
that way.
wow.
I think
That's
something like that.
interesting.
Yeah, but it's a vegetarian spider. It's kind of weird. Yeah, but there are a lot of I would say your non-traditional animals. Other than there's like hamsters, obviously they can, they're fine. A lot of rodents usually okay. But a lot of reptiles, you're gonna find you're not really a plant-based option for them.
Right.
Not healthy anyway. But our experience is primarily I've had hamsters, carrots, celery, perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But our primary focus is gonna be on cats and dogs in this episode. Yeah, I have 5 cats, 2 dogs. So all of my cats are not. They I feed them dirty meat. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I call them murderers and dirty meat eaters. I tell them to the face.
So mean.
Except for Lamb Chop. Lamb Chop overeats and throws up, so I just tell her to eat her vomit fuel.
Wow.
There's nothing wrong with her. She's been to the vet. She's fine.
Bella does the same
she
thing.
overeats.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, she does the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But however, Benny eats vegetarian.
Okay.
And so Benny's vegetarian. I tried to do vegan dog food with him, and he's very, very picky. Like he's extremely picky. So I had to slowly find a food. I literally at one point had like bags of food, like 3 or 4 bags of food. He wouldn't touch it. I couldn't find one that he ate. But his main dog food is a company called Square Egg. And there is
Okay.
I think it's egg whites and like a dairy powder. I think is in the dog food as the protein source.
Right.
And then it's also additional, like basically it's another mix of like vegetable powders and other vegetables and fruits mixed in. And they're little squares. They're pretty cool.
He likes that.
He likes that one. That's a few one. That's like the only dog food, the hard dog food I found he'll actually eat. Now,
Okay.
when he ate meat-based food when we first adopted him from the Humane Society, and he didn't eat that. He wasn't interested in that either. So it's not like he just was meat only. He just wasn't interested in it. Because I gave him meat-based ones until we could find something because I needed him to eat, and I couldn't get him to eat it. I just wish we put random food down and hope he'd eat one of them. He ate when he was hungry, but I couldn't get him to eat otherwise. His canned food is also vegetarian. It's I think it has egg in it as well. You find most of the vegetarian ones have egg in them.
Okay.
So the Kodak, he is the pit bull. Now he is not mine, so I haven't transitioned. If he was mine, I would transition him to the same diet.
Right.
So his kibble is not Natural Balance. It's Call the Wild. It's another one. I think it's Call the Wild. It's called Taste of the Wild or Call the Wild, something like that. But his canned food is vegetarian.
Okay.
So I do a mixture with him. And people ask all the time, like, and Kodak has put on weight since he's been with me, which, that's good or bad. He's gotten older
That's
too.
happy weight.
That's it. He's a happy dog. He's a happy guy.
Oh, I knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah. I'm starting watching TikTok videos, guys, and mostly dog videos.
We have addictions.
Yeah. So people ask me like, "Oh, what are you feeding him? His coat's so shiny." And I was like, "Well, he eats, I'm gonna say Call the Wild. I think it's called Call the Wild. He eats Call the Wild, roasted fowl, or whatever it is. And then I tell him and I mix it with a vegetarian canned food. Everyone looks at me like, "Oh my God, you're gonna kill him."
Jeez, does he look like it?
The boy is, And actually, that thing about it is both of Kodak goes to the vet. His real dad has like a thing with Banfield.
Okay.
He has like insurance with them. He covers all the shots and stuff. He's put on weight. No one said he's getting too big. No one said he's underweight. They've never told me he has any problems when I take him to get his checkups. In fact, he has one on Saturday. Benny gets regular vaccinations. He gets his weight taken. His vet is fully aware. I told him like he's vegetarian. She's like, "What are you feeding him?" I was like, "Here's what he has." I've given her pictures, and she's like, "He's fine. He's healthy. He needs a teeth cleaning." And only problem with him is not diet related. His front teeth don't, because like if you close your mouth, your front teeth go in front of your bottom teeth a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, his don't. They touch.
Ooh.
So it causes some front teeth issues, but that's not diet related. He's perfectly fine. Yeah, he's actually put on. When we first got him, he was just under 20 pounds. Now he's nearly 30.
Nice.
He's a couple. He's 4 or 5 years old, so he was fairly young when we got him. So putting on weight is expected. But his vet has never had an issue with his weight. Actually, when we first got him, she said he did put on some weight. So she's never.
And you accomplished that.
Absolutely, he's never. And we asked like, he's okay in his weight. She goes, yeah, his hips, joints are fine. His fur is, his coat's nice and shiny. He's perfectly fine, other than needing the teeth cleaning, which we got to get done. Perfectly fine. And right now he's chewing on his leg. But he's my buddy. He's with me like, constantly. Everywhere I go, he follows me. If I go in the laundry room to like move stuff over, he sits at the door and guards the door.
Jeez.
Which is dumb because I've been robbed and he was here and he didn't do anything. Seriously, someone in this house left the back door unlocked, and someone came inside and took some stuff that I owned, and then nothing.
God.
Didn't do anything. Benny's a giant, but he loves attention. We go to the dog park. He runs around like a crazy person, peeing on everything, and then he wants attention from everybody. So when they came in, he just laid on his back and showed his belly like, "Give me some rubs." Worthless.
You're so scary, Robert.
Oh my God.
Don't mind me.
But he's so frightening. And it was just funny because
I love that you're just like, I love how he's trying to protect me, and yet when I needed him to, he failed me.
I look back. I go, "What are you doing, buddy? You watching out for me?" He's like, "Yeah, I got you, Dad." Like, "You got nothing." If someone walked in here right now with a gun, you'd be like, "He's in there." Can you hit my head before you go in? Kind of like your face. All right, cool. Go ahead and shoot him back in the head. You won't care.
You want me to walk you over there? I'll walk you.
Dad, someone's here. Check him out. He looks nice. He bought you a present. That's not a present. That's a weapon of death. Son. It's not.
Meanwhile, my little dog barks at like anything that comes to the door, like she is about to rip your face off.
Yeah.
She couldn't do shit. She couldn't hurt you if she tried.
But when you get in, she's like, "Hi, friend." And he's the same way. Oh, he's like burr, 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 all day long. But you get inside, he's like, "Butt wiggles. Let's do this. What you got?" I'm like,
Lucy has to give a little sniff, but then I've told this before, she's only not liked 2 people in her life, and they were bad people. So yeah. I trust her instinct.
Hey,
she likes you, so I guess you're all right.
Yeah. So far, so good. I haven't done anything too crazy. Give it time. It's the 10th year you know me is when it sets off. That's when I just start doing bananas and just like burn your house down and like
no,
like do the dog do and the bag on fire and your front door. Like stomp it out. You suck. That's 10 years. We're not quite. It's like next year I think. That's when I do that. That's when I just go off
torture.
Go off the deep end. But yeah. So, what about you? What are you doing?
Oh,
What you feed your children?
my pets are not vegetarian nor vegan.
Oh man, that's terrible,
I
Megan.
know I'm the
I'm so
worst.
upset. That's it. Well, this is our last episode.
So here's the thing. When I went vegan, I didn't make my husband switch to the diet. I didn't make my children switch to that way of life. I'm not going to make my pets switch to that way of life. It's just something that I don't feel that I need to do. They're fine. My cat's fine. My dog is obviously not the greatest, but has nothing to do with what she eats. But I just don't push it onto my family, so I'm not going to do it to my animals either.
Fair.
I know what she likes, and she's also very picky as well. They tried to put her on some like special food at one point, and she was like, "Yeah, good try." um, so I know exactly what she likes, and she's been on it for a million years. So I'm not going to switch her. So I'm the bad one. I'm the bad vegan.
No, you're fine. Is
but
that so? We got to talk about that. So some people actually would give you a ration of hell.
they
Right.
would. They'd also give me shit because my husband and my
Right.
child eat non-vegan, and there's meat and dairy in my fridge. But you know,
I mean, and yeah.
Fight
So
it.
that's something we need to talk about briefly too. Is that is it ethical to switch to put your plant-based diet? Is it ethical not to?
right, right.
So I have my opinion. Let's go. You kind of you see you had something in the chamber.
Don't think it's. I don't think. I think it's totally fine to put them on a vegan diet or a vegetarian diet. I think it's totally fine as long as they're healthy. I don't give a crap what they eat. I just don't feel like it's my right to put her on. And I say the dog because I wouldn't. The cat's not going to eat that. But to put my dog on a vegan diet and a vegetarian diet in the last few years of her life, to just switch up everything and change everything just because I chose to eat vegan. Like that just seems kind of stupid to me. It's also more expensive for the most part sometimes.
It can be, yeah.
And I have children and I have, a house and I have all these things. And that's just not an expense I'm willing to offer, especially if I buy it and she doesn't freaking like it, which that has happened many times. Yeah, like you've already said, I don't want to play that game. I just don't. I know what she likes. She's on the last few years of her life. I'm not switching it up. And, I understand that some people might think I should. I get that. They also have opinions about, the things that happen, other things that happen in my house too. So I think it's just a personal preference.
Mind your business.
Yeah, exactly.
So there was one food I had a special order for Benny, and you're right. It is pricier to do. I mean, you could spend like Kodak's food is pricey compared to other dog foods as well. So Kodak's, even his meat based food is like a higher premium based food.
Right.
But yeah, Benny's food is higher than if I just bought him the quote normal stuff. But I found the food he would eat, and I was like, yay! He ate it most of the time. Sometimes he turns his nose up at it because he's picky. He's like, not today, Dad,
Right.
And the only reason I switched to square egg was for two reasons. One, they kept the stuff in stock at the pet store next to me. Because you can't really find any plant-based foods at like Petco or like a big box style store.
Right.
You have to go to specialty stores. They kept it. They actually had it in stock, and they had a sample. So I took the sample home. Most places I try to get samples from, even like bigger names like V-Dog, which is like the main vegetarian vegan dog food. They're like, nope, you can buy it and then send it back. I'm like, and you know how much time it'll take me to send it back, and I got to pay postage.
Right.
It's pointless. So we found one square egg that works for him, but I also recognize that this is my ethics and not his.
Right.
So, and the same thing with my cats. My cats don't run a plant-based diet because it's not their ethics. They don't, even if they could, if they could, I would do it. And that's something we'll talk about in a bit with cats and plant-based diets, which I know we're going to get hate mail by talking about that anyway. Oh my God. I can already see it. But, but the thing with animals versus because people say you're forcing with kids, they'd be like, you're forcing a vegan diet on children. I'm like, you can talk to children.
Right.
And be like, hey, we don't eat animals because it's terrible, and here's why. I'm not coming after you. This is not you.
I do have those conversations.
Right. Yeah. I'm talking about
Those
like, you
happen.
have toddlers and you're vegan, you had them as that and you're raising them. That's different.
Right, right.
You have children in your life are eating that way for a long time. They don't have the information. Now it's up to them to make the decision, not you making it for them.
Exactly. They're teenagers, I
Right.
mean. Yeah.
But you can display the ethics to kids in that sense. But I can't tell him, hey man, here's why you're not eating, a chicken based foods and stuff like this. This is why your food just, here's why we're going vegan and vegetarian for you, but you got to eat this. He doesn't understand.
Right.
So I understand that I'm essentially pushing ethics onto him. So if for some reason his vet was like, I know you're trying to be ethical and really leave him healthy, but for X, Y, and Z, these foods you're giving him isn't what he needs. Maybe it's a breed thing, or maybe it's a biological thing. He's not metabolizing something properly. I would switch him if it came to his health. Right.
Right. But he's doing good, so
Perfectly fine.
It's
Perfectly fine. But I also recognize these are my ethics. However, I do expect other people, if I choose to put those ethics on my fur kids, I don't like saying my owners or I own him. It's legally it's true from a legal standpoint. Like
Right.
I have a receipt for him technically. But like if I had family come over for Thanksgiving a few years ago, and they were like they fed him turkey and stuff. And I said multiple times, like, don't feed him from the table. One, I don't like doing that because I don't want him to get in the habit of like begging, and I don't feed him from my table, from my plate. And those are circumstances. Well, I'll feed him when I'm eating, and I'll talk about that in a bit as well. But he had it messed him up. It's the same thing if I ate meat right now, I'd be done. And he hasn't eaten meat in like 3-4 years, so he can't.
right.
So his stomach was all messed up for days, and I was very upset. I'm like, dude, you can't do that. But understand it's my ethics, right? So it's a weird thing. So, but also I don't judge people who don't make the decision not to move their animals to a plant-based diet, because again, you're putting your ethics onto another family member who you can't explain what's going on. So if you're like, it's my decision. I'm aware enough to know that this is unethical and unhealthy. But it's my ethics, so it's my decision, And you have this idea with your partner as well, like your husband. It's your ethics, and he has his, and you're fine having that separation. And so I don't demonize anyone who's like, no, he's a dog, and that's that's what he eats, what I eat. Why am I going to force my diet on? I can't tell him why. So why? For me, it's the opposite. I'm doing it because I'm making a decision for him. Because we can't have that conversation. He seems fine, but if he was having a medical issue or he just refused to eat and he was having problems, he basically became, had problems because he wasn't eating at all, then I would say, okay, we got to make a transition to something else. It's a problem.
Right.
But he's flourishing just fine, so I don't make that.
I mean, you can give us hate for those decisions, but there's also vegans who think you shouldn't have pets at all. So, I mean, you can't win. Not everyone's going to love your decisions. You kind of have to do what is right for you and your own family and your own life for your own animals.
And I have my own opinions on certain animals kept as pets that shouldn't be, that are like, that's you shouldn't, like with the bush babies and all that like have like their teeth removed and stuff so people can have them as pets. Like those aren't pets. Those are we didn't cats and dogs, hamsters and like that we've domesticated to that, and to some degree, especially dogs and some degree cats are a whole different because they're technically not domesticated, but that's another conversation. But they exist because of us. Like they exist on this planet mostly because of what we have done to them over hundreds of years of messing with their DNA and forced breeding and stuff.
Oh Lord.
So and of course cats are invasive species and they are responsible for the extinction of quite a few reptile animals and rodents, things like that, and the habitats. But I don't feed my cats on plant-based diet, so. I think we're going to want to roll into the whole cat thing. You ready for that?
Yeah.
That branch of hate mail? I say hate mail because I'm in a few vegan groups and cats come up quite a bit and everyone's like, so I'm going to say what I think is probably in the vegan world a controversial statement.
Go for it.
Cats can't survive on a straight plant-based diet.
I agree. Woohoo!
Not without massive supplementation, adding a bunch of extra stuff to their food that they can't get. They have to have from the meat. Cats are, I always spent this word up, obligate carnivores. I always say obligate for some reason. I don't know why. But they're obligate carnivores. Cats can taste ATP. They actually have taste buds to taste. ATP is what makes up muscle tissue.
That's
They can
so
taste
creepy.
it. Dogs don't have that. Cats do. Cats are carnivores. They do have to have some vegetation in their diet. Like if you most times when you get cat food, you may see like pieces of peas or like mine usually have like pumpkin and stuff like that. It's good for their teeth and their hair and things like and their hair, their fur, whatever. But they can't. Then I have there's certain things they have to get from like taurine, vitamin A, B, arginine, and I can never pronounce it.
Oh, come on. You can do it.
Acridonic acid.
There you go.
So
There you go. You did it.
Yeah. So, and I had to write those out because I never can remember them well enough, and I always pronounce them terribly. But those
are some difficult words right there. Come on.
Thank you. And those come. They get those. They metabolize those from meat-based sources. So my cats eat a higher quality of canned food. I have my cat Queenie has bladder issues. She actually had a bladder surgery, had her bladder like rinsed out years ago. Right?
What a saying.
It is. It's literally, she had like sediment in there that blocked her up, and she was like, she had seizures and stuff. She had to have surgery.
Remember that? Yes.
Yeah. And Aussie too, because Aussie's problem, of course, our problem is eating too much. He had stones that caused the same issue. Queen's was something else, but Aussie had stones that caused an issue. And I looked up why, and it was basically he was getting too much because he was eating too much. And he's my bigger cat, so I had a bad habit of like anything that the cats didn't eat, I would just put into his bowl and let him finish it off because no one would go to waste. But then I had to stop doing that because he was overeating and that was causing bladder problems. But yeah, cats are obligate carnivores, and I know that's and you technically can. There are cat foods out there that are plant-based, and they have a lot of additives to them to get the taurine, because there is man-made taurine that coming from non-animal based sources, and you can get supplement through the A, B, and the other words I'm not going to try to say again. I'm
assuming there's more vegetarian cat food.
Yeah,
like it. Yeah.
Kind of like how it has egg and dairy things in it to try to get those extra pieces in there. But they need a high amount of protein.
Yeah.
And this is kind of fun. You know the whole thing about dogs, like we'll go for kitty kibbles that are in the litter box. You know the whole deal?
Yes.
That's because their waste is high in protein. Because they just naturally eat so much protein because of what's needed. They need that much to pull their minerals from it. And feel free to message me on Facebook and tell me I'm wrong. That's fine. Feel free to hit me on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. Like us. Message me. Say, hey, I disagree. I'm like, that's cool. Send me the research. That's not fine. I've done the research too. Because if I could have my cats on a plant-based diet and I was comfortable where it would, I know they'd be fine. Queenie at any age, because Queenie is my older kitty. I'm probably off on her age by a couple years. She's probably older than I think she is. I just don't want to accept her age.
Yes, I understand.
But if any age, I would do it. But I've done the research. I talked to vets. Benny's vet, sure, plant-based diets are fine. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But every time I go to the vet, I'm like, am I doing my dog's on it? And I would write, and they're like, you can't. Cats are carnivores. There's minerals, vitamin minerals that come. They metabolize straight from the meat base. So I just try to be selective of the foods that I get and what's in them. There's certain animals that this sounds terrible because it makes me sad. First off, I won't buy cat food if the picture of the animal's on the can. I can't do it. It's like a picture of a fish. I'm like, you can't do that. I just can't get it. It makes me sad.
You ruined it.
I'm already sad. And then, so there's certain I did it years ago, my previous life. I had another podcast where I interviewed a head of she headed up the MFA's Mercy for Animals investigation. And I told her I only try to get stuff that's like chicken and fish. Those are two. I don't do turkey. I don't do anything with like beef or pig or cow or pig. And she's like, oh, so the two animals that suffer the most. I'm like, crap. But I still do. I had to vary their diet up so they get a good change up. I mean, technically the natural diet would be like chipmunks and squirrels, but I can't do that. That makes it too sad. I can have enough cognitive dissonance where I can separate the fish and chicken thing, and that makes that too.
But I mean,
I don't.
It's just it is what it is. They have to eat.
That being said, I don't think I would. I don't know if I'd ever get another cat again.
Oh,
You know,
good to
I've never
know.
talked about that. Like, I don't know, because
Huh.
I kind of accept because I had lost a cat last year. I believe like from the beginning. He was in not last year, but the year before. He was really bad sick, and that was because he had a liver problem from a previous person who abused him. So I kind of have this odd acceptance of like they're all gonna die, and it's not in a
Yeah.
morbid way, but like I just understand it, and like I'm almost said goodbye to all of my animals already because like I had to accept it because their lifespan is way shorter than mine.
Right.
So Queenie's old. She's at the point again she can't jump. So I'm like accepting it. Like I probably got a few years left with you, sweetie. You know, I love you, but I gotta accept it. And now I'm like, I don't know if I can get another cat again because one, having to buy meat for him makes me sad, and then I don't know. I think I've gone so close to the ones that I have, and that I don't know if I could quote replace them anyway.
Right. I don't think we'll get more pets, maybe at all, ever again, which
Yeah.
is crazy because, like, I have had a zoo growing up. I mean, we had birds, cats, all kinds of dogs. I mean, it was like always animals, but what did you call them? They're walking tragedies or living tragedies or some crap. I
Little
can't.
tragedies waiting to happen.
Yeah, I can't. The thought of losing them is like, whoa. So I don't want to do it again.
Yeah.
But then again, like, there's so many animals that need someone to take them and love them. So it's like, oh,
Yeah.
but I don't think we will. I really don't.
I think
So,
once I'm down to like once I'm down a cat once I'm down 2 cats I might get another dog because Kodak will hopefully likely be gone by then. He'll be back with his real dad.
right.
I would love to get a boxer.
Oh,
I love boxers, just big and stupid.
cute. Love
Just
it.
this big old face. I'm gonna name. I want to name him JavaScript or her JavaScript.
God. I love it.
I'm a web developer, guys. What do you want? And it's been Benny having another dog in the house has been, I think, really helpful for him. Just having someone to. He doesn't play that much. He just never has. He doesn't have toys. He doesn't care. I bought him
Right.
toys, all kinds of stuff. He just like, meh. I throw him balls. He goes, no, I don't care. He literally wants to lay on the couch and watch Netflix. Is all he wants to do.
Yeah, that's my kind of dog.
Yeah, he's when you finally meet Benny, you're gonna love him. Oh my god.
I've met Benny when we went to that book walk thing in
did he come with us?
Decatur.
I didn't know he
Yes.
came with us. Okay, well, Ben's
Yes.
adorable.
He is
He's
adorable.
even got more adorable already. He has sweaters, all kinds of stuff. But anyway, but cats, again, I go back on course of, cats can't be in a plant-based diet. There are cat food that exist. I had a friend who actually reached out because she was vegan as well. And she was asking this company, like, hey, I want to go to this diet. My cats, I want to know what you thought. They're like, we make it because there's a market for it, but we don't necessarily recommend it. There's people who made the
What?
food. I can't remember who the company was. They're like, we don't necessarily recommend it. If you do it, make sure you take your cat to the vet like every couple of months to have their blood work done and make sure they're okay. Because there are vitamins and minerals and stuff they need
That's insane.
from animal-based diet they can't get from plants. It has to be basically manufactured in there.
We make it, but we don't necessarily recommend it. I
Right.
hate them.
Right, but there's a market for it. I mean, it's capitalism.
guess.
It's capitalism. I can't blame them. I mean, I'm sure the people who make smoking products, they're like, we don't recommend, we don't suggest you inhale smoke,
That's
but
true.
if you're going to buy it, I'm going to sell it.
Oh gosh.
But so let's move on to the dog thing because I think I've beaten that into the ground. So dogs, however, evolved alongside us. I'm sure we all know they're all dogs are based off the wolves. And but I just put my dog in the eye. I'm sorry, but it happens.
Abuse.
I don't know how dogs do that. Like I do that not a lot, but I do. Like I'll pet him, and instead of like going down to the head, he goes up. I'm like, dude, my hand's coming out your face. Why are you going? And why are you headbutting my fingers?
He's like, I just want more love. Get
Right.
closer to me.
I felt something lick my knee. I'm like, what the heck is that? Anyway, so dogs evolved. You know, talking about you, buddy. So dogs evolved alongside us from wolves, right? And of course we've interbred them, and we crossbred them to get certain traits that we like and we need for different reasons. Whether or not we just thought they were cute,
Right.
or like, oh my God, it's a dog with a big squishy face. Make more of those,
The best.
right? Or for hunting, or for like cattle driving and whatever, and
Right.
stuff like that. So, anyway, that's a whole topic of whether or not that should be done, and dogs work
No.
dogs and stuff. But anyway, but they evolved alongside us. But so dogs by nature are just scavengers, much like humans are. We're like before we lived in houses, we roamed
Yeah.
the land. We essentially scavenged. Looking for plants to dig up and trees to eat from, and things to kill and eat, because we actually didn't eat meat as we evolved, guys. We can't ignore the fact that we were hunters and gatherers.
Right. Exactly.
That's a whole other conversation. a lot of whole other conversations in this episode. And so because of that, they have an omnivoric diet. They're scavengers, so they can survive on plants. Just like us, they need to have proper amount of protein, carbohydrates, fats, that sort of stuff. They tend to need a little higher in protein than we do. But aside from that, they survive perfectly fine. As a matter of fact, one of the oldest living dogs was a border collie.
Oh my gosh, I looked as a girl, right?
Yes,
Yes, I looked her up today. So freaking cute.
Bramble.
Yeah,
Yeah, she was a
love
border
it.
collie, and she lived on a plant-based diet all her life. The typical life expectancy for border collies is around 17 years, and she lived past 25.
Jeez,
The
that's
current
amazing.
the current oldest living dog, not plant-based, but is 29. To give you some context of how like 25 over 25 is still pretty old for a dog.
That is very old.
And that is not to say that like her diet is why she lived that long, but it's to show that because that
She can live that long.
right. It didn't. She didn't have any detrimental issues, things like that. All because of her diet, she lived into that age. Even
Yes.
she gave regular checkups. She had A+ checkups. Even her owner was like, she never had a health issue. It was literally old age. It's just like grandma being 105 years old and falling asleep, and that's it.
Ugh, she's such a cutie. Everyone should go Google Bramble. So cute.
So cute. So
Little sweetie pie.
yeah, but so yeah, dogs are perfectly fine. You always talk to your veterinarian. There are some breeds, from what I understand, like the more closer to like the wolf breed your dog is, the less likely it is that they'll do well with it. So
interesting.
your breed can affect it. But most dogs are just mixes of mixes.
Yes.
If you're a pure breed, definitely talk to your vet. And if you want to switch to a plant-based diet with your dog, talk to your vet. Say, here's what I'm switching to. If your vet's like, no, you can't do it. Like, it's like almost like if you went to a doctor and it was like, I want to go vegan. Like, you can't. You must eat meat to live. Like, okay, you're just shutting me out immediately.
Yeah, calm down,
let's have
buddy.
a conversation. And, you might have to be prepared with your own research, but show them what food you're getting. Do your own research, know what you're getting. You're switching your dog over to your own ethics. So if you want to go to that direction, definitely know what you're getting. Make sure it's a higher quality. It's well balanced. Most vegan dog foods, they're using kind of like human supplements. They're going to use like lentils. I think because Benny uses two different foods. Both are vegetarian, but they have egg in them. But they have one has lentils. I think one is chickpea based.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, there's Avengers. I think is one of them. And that one has you can see lentils and carrots and potatoes and stuff in it.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, and then the other one is Health Extension vegetarian, and it has I think it's chickpea based.
I would never have expected that.
yeah.
That's interesting.
Oh yeah. So like even though I'm vegan, Benny's vegetarian technically. I don't feed him from my plate. That's primarily because I don't want him to beg and have bad habits. I will if there's certain if I'm sitting at the counter eating an apple, I'll cut a piece and give him a piece of an apple.
I do the same thing with Lucy.
Yeah, just little stuff like that. It doesn't really teach him to beg. It basically is like, oh, we're having a snack together. It's fine. But if I'm sitting down with a plate, don't do it. I won't.
I hate that.
Here's a pizza crust, and we'll talk about pizza crust here in a bit to a degree. But yeah, I'll feed them like like eat some strawberries or some fruit. I'm like sitting in the kitchen having a snack. I might just kind of toss them down for him.
Lucy loves bananas. That's her thing. Oof, she
Oh
will
yeah.
stalk you if you have a banana. She's like, girl, give me.
Have you seen that
And it's
video?
gone within one, like, gone. And she wants more. I'm like, calm down.
Have you, Kodak, dude, Kodak. When I make my smoothie in the morning, has berries and stuff in it, like blackberries and blueberries and strawberries. Kodak
Mhm.
sits there and hoping what'll fall onto the fall onto the floor, because that will snatch up a berry like that. Love them so much. And berries are really good for dogs. There's antioxidants, vitamin C, a lot of water in berries. So he was like, "Ooh, strawberry!" I'm like, "You son of a." All right, guess so. Also, carrots are really good for dogs if you want to give your dog like a something to chew on, and you don't obviously don't give them a bone. Carrots are very good for dogs. Not too much. It's a lot of fiber. It can be a lot of fiber. But it's a good you take a whole carrot and freeze it, make a rock out of it. The vegan zombie, I think it is. He gets what he does with his dogs. He'll he gets these jumbo carrots and he'll freeze them, and he gives them to the dog. The dog just like gnaws on them like a dog with a bone.
I was just gonna say that's a replacement for a bone.
Yeah,
What
that's
a great idea.
Yeah, they
Lucy
love 'em.
doesn't have enough teeth to chew on things like that, but that is a freaking clever idea.
They're great vitamin A, keratin, which is
Wow.
good for eyes, also good for claws or nails and stuff like that. Good for hair. A lot of fiber, vitamin A, all that's very, very good. There's, again, too much can cause stomach issues because it is high in fiber, but
Right.
a treat every now and then is good for them.
So we're talking about a little bit of like fruits and veggies, like we've already talked about, that are safe for pets to for dogs to consume. And a lot of the ones we have listed are things that I know that my dog loves. There are some things on here she is like, nah, like I love that dogs, cats too, I suppose, but dogs have like their own little taste buds, you
Yeah.
know, like some things are just like, no, I don't want that, you know, and it just makes me laugh because that's like shows their little personalities in a way.
Yeah.
Like, Lucy will try anything and she'll put it in her mouth several times. But if she doesn't, she'd be like, I want to like this so bad because it's food. But then she just spits it back out. Like, I've tried to give her cucumbers and she's like, I really do. And she's like, no, I hate them. Such a brat. It makes me laugh every time.
Benny's so picky. He sometimes he won't eat it. He'll do one or two things in most cases. The stuff is, unless I know something he's had and he's fine with. But if something new, sometimes he'll smell it and go, no, walk off. Or he'll take it. He'll go take it, and he always walks away, puts it in the carpet, and then looks at me, and then sits down. I was like, then why'd you take it?
Because it's a snack.
Because you're my friend, and I didn't want to be rude and not accept the gift. It's like it's almost like this. Almost like you like somebody gives you a gift. You're like, oh my god, thank you. I always wanted one of these, and they leave. You're like, it's a piece of
I don't want this.
Where can I stick this where I can get it out easily when they come over? They think I like it.
He's like, well, he's looking, so I'm gonna pretend like I like this and just bring it over here.
Yeah,
I like that. That's pretty funny.
Adorable. Yeah, there's certain things like he loves strawberries. He'll throw down on a strawberry on my carpet.
Oh, why do they always have to go to the carpet?
Look, I
Like
give it to you in
there's
the kitchen.
hardwoods. What is the problem?
Eat in the kitchen. That's where we eat stuff. What are you doing? But yeah, there's a lot of things you'd be surprised your dogs can eat. Actually, what's really interesting is that he didn't eat it, but when we first got Benny, we went to Witch and got sandwiches, and I got Benny a sandwich with a bunch of vegetables dogs could eat.
That is so cute.
And I think he would have eaten it, but he was just so nervous because we literally just got him. So I think he was just kind of
He was
too
like,
caught
"Are
up.
you sure?"
He was too caught up, like, I'm not in a cage anymore. What's happening? That's always fun to do. Just get a little sandwich for him. But there's some stuff that I actually found interesting I want to kind of point out. So like artichokes. I'm not a big artichoke person, so I didn't know dogs have artichokes.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So and most of my
I know that Lucy likes broccoli, but I don't know that she likes cauliflower. I don't know if I've ever tried that with her.
Huh.
I don't know why.
I don't know. And what's great is that like really when you if you want to make your own dog food, you can actually do kind of like that of like food that you take a list of foods they can have, and it was like cooking for yourself.
Yeah.
So I know broccoli is ones I think Kodak likes, but Benny doesn't. My parents had a dog who would eat stuff like that, but only if he had dressing on it.
Excuse me?
You had to put like blue cheese, I think, on it, and he would eat it. Otherwise, he wouldn't touch it. Yeah, he was snooty. Like they have like all. My mom would like make these big like salads growing up, and then she would like give all the extras to the dogs. Like here's a bunch of like not onions because we can't have onions, but
Yeah, right.
broccoli and bell peppers, which are fine, things like that, and some lettuce and stuff. And she put it down. The other dogs would just like chomp through it, and he'd just sit there, look at her.
Where's my dressing,
She go
lady?
and she put salad dressing on it. He just chomped down on it. I'm like,
what the crap?
yeah, he's crazy.
Okay, that's a good story. I like that one.
So
Yeah, Lucy is not into leafy vegetables like spinach, lettuce, kale that you can give dogs. No, will not.
I'll give Kodak the kale rib. Like if I strip the kale and there's a little piece, I give him that. He'll like chew the little end piece. He'll chew the loose pieces off of it, but he'll leave the rib behind. Benny doesn't want anything to do with it. He's so picky. There's like kale and stuff like in his like canned food, I think, and maybe it's dried up in his hard food, but he don't eat it straight out. It's such a
No. Lucy's just like, and again, she like goes, I want to like this, but I don't. And she just, and then when trying to getting it out of her mouth, and she's just like, I hate this. I'll have to record that. I'm gonna have to give her some and record it. She has such a hissy fit.
Have you seen the one of the person like they toss her dog a couple of treats and they chomp them and eat them and he tosses them a pickle?
Oh no!
Dog chomp and gets it and like shakes their head and it just flying out of their mouth like oh. So we can the list of what dogs can eat are actually pretty long, and I don't want to go into every single one we can. But what I do want to kind of go over quick is the kind of not the best and do nots.
Yes,
especially ones that I know people really wouldn't know about. I think citrus is one interesting one because I assume dogs could have oranges. I thought that'd be okay. But apparently the acids in them, because obviously it's a citrus heavy acid, especially like lemons and limes more than anything else, can cause some stomach issues because the acids.
I could see that, yeah. Garlic and onions, I knew that they could not have.
Yeah, it's very bad for them.
I didn't know why, but anemia. That's
anemia.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that for the longest time. I don't know why. That was just like something that was stuck in my head. But yeah, definitely cannot have garlic and onions.
Yeah, I knew cinnamon wasn't that great, but corn isn't a good one because corn is sometimes it's not that bad for them. But too much of it can cause stomach issues. That's also why it's touted as to watch out for it as a filler in dog foods.
Yes, you look for like the first few ingredients of a dog food, and if it's corn is the first one, then you shouldn't ever give your animal that.
It's just going to blow them up and give them stomach issues, yeah.
But cinnamon, huh? That's, I mean, I don't know why you'd ever give a dog cinnamon to begin with, but good to know that it causes stomach issues. Interesting.
Now, dairy is one that I don't think a lot of people realize because, like, the whole cute things that do the puppuccinos from Starbucks. You know what those are? So basically, I bought a thing of whipped cream in a cup. And really, it's the same thing as, like, dogs are mammals. They nurse on their mother until they're a certain age, and they wean off, and it can upset their stomach just like it can a human. Also, of course, it's it can cause health issues just like it can in a human. Although I have admitted that there is dairy in Benny's food, but he will not touch vegan food, and I'd rather put a vegetarian in front of him and make sure he eats and gets nutrition as opposed to him just flat out not eating and having health problems because he's not getting nutrition at all. Baked goods. This is one I think catch people the most because everyone's like, I'm sharing some cake with my dog, or like, oh, you want the crust from my pizza. It's the problem with a lot of like baked goods, especially like pizza crusts, and pizza crusts are high in sodium. People don't realize how high in sodium pizza crust is. Have you ever made pizza crust at home? Put a lot of salt in that.
David has.
It's a good amount of salt on pizza crust, especially if you want it good and delicious. And this also goes along with like cakes, anything that's like sweetened. Dogs don't process sugars very well, especially some like low quality stuff that may have like xylitol, which can kill a dog.
I've never thought to give my dog anything with sugar or sweet like that. But I mean, bread has a lot of sugar in it too sometimes. So you do have to be careful about things like that.
And the way it metabolizes it can basically make them overweight. Regular bread tends to be higher in calorie anyway. Bread goods in general. So you're like, oh, you're eating the pizza, you like the crust. Oh, the dog can have the crust. Imagine if, you fed that to, it's a 25, Benny's like 25, 30 pounds. If you gave you ate like let's say like a small pizza and gave a 25-pound child all that bread, it's going to give stomach problems, give bathroom problems. It could mess them up. Also, it's a lot of calories and can make weight gain and cause other health issues. So
Yeah, they're gonna have an upset tummy for sure.
yeah,
For
but,
sure.
stick to your whole foods again. There's plenty of lists, and we have a couple. We'll put in the show notes.
We'll put the whole list for you guys, so you have some good ideas of what is good for your dogs and what isn't. And we definitely have some that you should never, ever give your dogs. And the first one on the list is grapes.
Grapes and raisins,
Raisins, yes. And I've known that forever too. And as you know, having dogs and children, you have to like also be careful of that, you know? Yeah, because when they're little, your dog is literally like the vacuum underneath the high chair. So like you have to think of those things when you're feeding your child. They might drop it. So, and grapes are a big part of a kid's life. So that can be very dangerous for dogs.
Right. And especially the next one being chocolate is also another big one. Yeah, that's like the sweet treat when you're a kid. Like, you want a piece of chocolate?
Yeah.
Oh
no, that's bad. I almost lost a dog to chocolate.
Really?
I'll tell the story real quick.
Yeah.
So I grew up with a black lab from when I was 12 till I was 21. He went to college with me. He was the coolest dog in the world. Love that guy. But one day he got into the neighbor's into the neighbor's garbage, and they had thrown out some expired chocolate, and he got into it. And I'm sitting in the living room, and he walks up, and his whole body is just shivering. And it wasn't like a seizure. He was just like shaking. So we rushed him to the vet, and they had to do the liquid charcoal. And they said they had to do so much of it that they were like on the last vial. And if they couldn't give him any more, it was like too much. And he almost died. But he survived, and he was totally fine after that. But it was probably one of the scariest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I never want to see that again. So scary.
That's the thing about it. It can cause dehydration, heart attacks, and death.
Yeah.
And that's probably what it was. Probably, because the dog can't metabolize it. When they actually metabolize chocolate, it breaks down into a chemical. There's essentially a poison. I can't remember the name of it to save my life. That's what's happening. Basically, your dog was poisoned. Essentially, your body broke down chocolate, turned into a poison, and now that poison was coursing through your dog's veins. I've had friends who are like, I give my dog chocolate, it's fine, and that's the thing about it. It's not if it'll do it, it's when. And each dog metabolizes differently. It's genetic. So some dogs is a little bit, that's it. Some dogs need a whole Hershey bar and be fine. The second Hershey bar, that's it. The way I equate it is
this dog was a lab, so it was a big dog. So right. I don't know how much he got into, because we don't know, but it either he ate a whole bunch or he just didn't. It just attacked him really quickly.
Right. Well, it's like an overdose. It's like an overdose. You can do like a little bit of heroin and be fine. A lot of heroin will be fine. But some people just look at it and they're like, I'm done. It's
yes.
But it's literally like that. It's a poison. It's like an overdose. There's stories like somebody did heroin one time and they died from it. Yeah, because their body couldn't process it well enough, and because that's a whole other thing. Yeah. So yeah, chocolate's one I get really freaky about, and people even near my dogs, and they've tried you need to get it. I don't want, because Benny's not.
Yeah.
Kodak will eat it. He's like, oh, food. I'm like, no, it's not. Calm down. Kodak's first instinct with everything is to lick it or try to eat it before he even sniffs it. I'm like, you're stupid. You're gonna kill yourself. Look, a wire. I'm gonna sniff it and lick it before I'm gonna lick it and try to eat before I sniff and see what it is. Stop eating wires.
Oh God.
My brother eats wires. But coffee and in conjunction caffeine being introduced can cause vomiting, seizures.
I have another story about this too.
There you go. Make sharing stories today.
But it's not a death story or anything. It's just my current dog, my sweet little Lucy, loves coffee. Like this little brat.
Yeah, you mentioned this.
Yes, and I have to, every single time I leave the room, I move my coffee to a point where her little body can't reach it. And I do it out of habit now, because she doesn't just go and oh, I just want a little lick. No, No, you turn around for 5 seconds, come back, the whole fucking cup is gone. And she's tiny.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
she is
lucky.
overweight, but she's like little. And she's been doing this since we got her. I'm like, girl, stop. So the fact that she hasn't died from it is a
It
miracle.
really is. Yeah.
So, because it became like, anytime she would do it, it would be like the one time I forgot to move my freaking cup. You know, I can't be perfect. You know, sometimes I forget to move the cup, or I think I have enough time to go do this real quick. No, girl, quick. She wants that coffee.
She's going in it.
Um,
She's like
oh,
you.
you know what? I know why she hasn't died from it yet. Because, as you say, there's barely any coffee in my cup. It's mostly just cream and sugar.
Every time I make coffee, I think of you now. By the way,
I know.
Because it's funny. I got a new creamer. I got hazelnut creamer. This is pretty good, and I can barely taste it. And you're like, oh, it's so good, I love it. And I'm like, I don't taste it. I realize I don't put enough in there to really taste it anyway. I really put like a teaspoon of cream in my coffee just to give a little bit of something. That's it. It's mostly black. We posted a picture of our coffees on Instagram.
Yes,
check us
it
out.
is
Vegans
entertaining, to say the least.
But yeah,
so coffee is bad for dogs, and Lucy loves coffee.
Yes, as well as caffeine. And I'm also at the bottom one with beer because we're on drinks. Beer, obviously, not good. Again, think about what caffeine does to you as an adult. Ramps you up, get you hyped up, and think that. Now put that into an animal that's a third, half, a quarter of your size, the same amount, it's going to cause a problem. So and again, you don't know how much is going to cause a problem, so it's best to just avoid it altogether.
Avocados?
Yes. So this is interesting.
Did not know this.
There's a pet food brand called Avo, I think, and they put avocado oil in the food. And again, same friend who called about the vegan cat food called them like, what are you doing? Avocados are bad for cats and dogs. And apparently the oil is okay. Again, they're not advocating putting avocado oil in your dog's food. Don't do that. Talk to your vet, of course. But according to that pet food company, they said the oil is really good for them, but the actual avocado itself, the meat of the avocado, that is poisonous.
Interesting.
And that can cause actually
respiratory and cardiac issues.
Yes,
jeez,
that is very dangerous. It's almost as bad as chocolate for dogs. Yeah, so it's
interesting. Did not know. This is a very helpful episode for everyone.
It is. So make sure you subscribe to the subscribe to the show and like
and share this with everybody because that's a good one. I seriously had no idea.
Yep.
Oh. And there is one thing that's not on this list.
Ooh,
raw potatoes. Cooked potatoes, totally fine. Raw
know
potatoes, not good. Hold on. Let me look it up because Okay, they contain solanine, which can be poisonous to dogs in large quantities. So you should keep them away from raw potatoes, potato skins, and any potato plants. So...
Well, Benny, your diet of potatoes is now gone. You can't have potatoes anymore. He literally just looked at me like, what? No potatoes?
You can cook them, just not raw.
You can lay it down. Lay it down.
He's like, you said my name, Dad, like 17 times in the last hour. I'm going to get up.
Pretty much. But, of course, always talk to your vet. But with the main thing about dogs, if you're going to switch to a plant-based diet, be mindful of the protein intake. Roughly the same proteins that we use as vegans. You can use your dog, lentils, beans, seeds. Be careful with nuts. Dogs can have nut allergies, just like humans can.
It's so cute. Not cute, but you know what I'm saying.
Right, it's cute. They can like, oh my god, they have allergies too. Go poogie face.
They're like us.
Oh my god. Peanut butter is a common nut people give dogs a treat. It's nuts tend to be higher in fat, so be aware of that. I give my dogs some little peanut butter every now and then. You know, I'm like most people. I think most people just eat peanut butter in the jar, like a little peanut butter snack. Tasty. I'll give y'all want peanut butter too? But I test it with Kodak and with Benny first to make sure they don't have any reaction, like a little bit, nothing happens. Okay, cool, we're good. But be mindful.
Just like you would with a child too.
Exactly. Be mindful. Dogs can have allergies just like humans can. But you can't. There are plenty of recipes out there. And make sure that protein intake is higher because you need a little more higher protein than you do per body weight. Amino acids, just like humans, very important. Hit all the amino acids that are needed, and need to be highly balanced for higher calcium and all the vitamins, minerals. There's a lot of home dog food recipes out there, and there's also I had it pulled up. Let's see if I still have it. Yes. So there's a company called We're never sponsored by anybody. If it was a sponsor us, let us know.
That'd be cool.
There's a company called Veg Dog, VEGE dog, one word. And they make supplements for dogs. So if you putting your dog on a plant-based diet, kind of like how we take multivitamins, it's kind of the same thing.
Right.
So if you're on a plant-based diet with your dog and you want to make sure they're kind of hitting like their iodines and their calcium and just the little things that are like hard to get quite right if you're making homemade vegan dog food, that's a good thing to set. Some of the powders you can mix in, some are just little pills you give, whatever. And there's also vegan dog foods and vegetarian-based dog foods. V-Dog being the most common one. Square egg. Benny loves square egg. If you want to do vegetarian as opposed to vegan, for maybe your dog doesn't like vegan dog food, square egg is a great option. He really likes them. They're not too pricey. They're a little pricey than like your basic run-of-the-mill dog food because of it's a specialty. But compared to others I had bought for him that he wouldn't eat, they're better priced.
And we definitely recommend if you do switch your dog over to a plant-based or vegetarian diet, to get them checked up, after a few months of being on the diet to make sure that things are going okay,
Yes.
that they're digesting and metabolizing everything correctly, and all their levels are great, just to check.
Yes,
You don't want to make any mistakes because that
No.
would suck.
It's very important to be open and honest with your veterinarian. Let them know like my dog is we're moving to, or want to move to, or we have already moved, or we are. They're going to ask you what food you're giving them because they're probably doing research to make sure it's okay. But don't be like, well, what does he eat? Normal dog food, just whatever else. No, be honest with them because that can they may also want to do double checks on the blood work and like that. And make and they may even say like they may even be aware like this is great, but you really should switch to a different type of like maybe this type of vegetarian dog food because it's the one you have is low in calcium, something like that. Be mindful. Right. Your dog can't talk to you and say, I'm not doing this. I'm not too happy with this. They can't talk to you. All they can do is just like not eat it or eat it to make you happy, and then end up with health issues you weren't seeing. So be honest with your veterinarian. Take your dog in regularly. Get vaccinations. Get checked. Obviously, we're not veterinarians, so.
Yes.
We can't speak directly to that. So.
And we would love to hear your opinions. We don't really want your hate mail, but
I'll take
we'll
it, man.
take
I don't care. I don't care.
We'll take it.
What's up? Bring it. I'll tell you what's up. No, I'm kidding.
That's fuel to David's fire.
I'll fight you. What's up? I'm ready to go. I'll send a picture of Benny. Tell me he's not feeling good. What's up?
Yes, so send all of your hate mail to David, and all of your loving comments to me.
That's fair. That's fair.
You can email us at theaveragevegans@gmail.com, or you can message us on Instagram or Facebook at The Average Vegans. You can find our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Pocket Casts, or anywhere else you get your podcast fix. Make sure to leave us a review and recommend us to your friends, family, coworkers, strangers, the delivery driver. Show notes, links, and more can be found at our website, theaveragevegans.com. And we'd love to hear from you, like I just said. We want to hear some more stuff, some vegan stories, your favorite vegan recipe, your favorite treat. I want to hear some good stuff. Give us some episode ideas. That would be even cooler. So yes, we'd love to hear from you guys. Not just about this episode. And that is it for the week.
All right. Well, until next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.